Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of a Sunday at the Woody
What's going on,
with my
everybody?
man Drew Sample. I'm Andy Evans, and Drew, we are now officially here.
We're here.
The 12-team playoff has been decided, and the Buckeyes are in. They are the 8th seed, although they're the 6th-ranked team, but still the 8th seed playing the 9th-seeded Tennessee Volunteers. We just got done hearing Mr. Ryan Day, the head coach of the Ohio State football team, talk to the media about their upcoming matchup, which is going to be Saturday night, December 21st, 8 p.m. here at the Horseshoe against the Volunteers.
Thursday,
Tickets go on sale, folks, this coming Thursday at 10 a.m.
starting at $100 a ticket.
Starting at $100 a pop. Now, not exactly sure how the overall structure is going to shake out, but indeed, tickets do start at $100 a pop. That's probably for the nosebleeds or maybe even sitting outside in the parking lot of Ohio State. I don't know. We'll see. But the fact is that they're playing the Volunteers. Your thoughts on what Ryan Day had to say today?
I think. So my thoughts were he was saying the right things. I think he acknowledged that he tightened up, and it's like I think the fear of the repercussions of losing to Michigan have been weighing on him since that first loss in 2021. Because it looks like a different team the past 4 years. It's a different game plan. And honestly, it just hasn't looked the same since like 2019, 2020, even like Stroud years. I think it hasn't been the same kind of attack mode. We're going to take every team's soul. We're going to score a bunch of points. We're going to blow this team out. And it just always seems like we're playing not to lose. And I think he alluded to acknowledging that. So, I mean, I'm excited. I was pretty doomer. Buckeye Doomer fan, earlier, the Doomers. We're going to lose every game. I think all the Big Ten teams are going to lose. We're frauds. And I'm over it, man. I think Buckeye fans need to grow up. It sucks losing to Michigan. It sucked the worst because you wouldn't get to play in the Rose Bowl traditionally. You wouldn't get that postseason. But now we have a 12-team playoff. We have one of the best teams. Buckeyes have one of the best teams in the country. They just need to put it together. We need a better game plan than running at the best two defensive tackles, which Tennessee has. They have a very good defensive line. You cannot run the ball right at them. They have a pretty good defense, but I don't think they're better than Ohio State. I think Ohio State needs to play with the same kind of freedom they had against Indiana. They need to play. We need to get the ball in the hands of our playmakers, which they didn't do.
Against Michigan.
And I think, much like when we came out, played Georgia, should have won that game. We didn't have a starting running back. I remember calling you and you broke it down. Every single running back was hurt that year. We still lost by a awful 51-yard field goal miss.
I think it was 49, but who's counting?
It was still nowhere near their.
It would have been Noah Ruggles' record, yeah.
Yeah.
Year.
So,
but
anyway. I think that even with Marvin Harrison getting targeted, and that wasn't called, they didn't call targeting at all that year. But this year it's different. Ryan Day alluded, all the players are excited to get a home game. It's going to be a night game. Tennessee only gets 3,500 seats.
Yeah.
They're going to see what they can to get aftermarket seats. Good luck. OSU, I already texted a few people. Everyone's telling they're canceling their Christmas parties because they want to make sure they can go to that game. I think people are fired up. It is history in the making.
It is.
It does stink losing to Michigan. It does stink going into the playoff with the loss to Michigan. But at the same time, it's oddly enough, much like 1995 postseasons against Tennessee.
Yep. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
This is obviously only the second time ever that Ohio State and Tennessee are going to play. The first time was after that 95 season. That's when Eddie won the Heisman Trophy. That's when an undefeated second-ranked Ohio State team lost their first game of the season to Michigan at the end, and then they turned around and they lost to Tennessee. Of course, that was the John Cooper era, and a lot of people feel that Ryan Day is John Cooper 2.0, except John Cooper over here had one approach. Ryan Day's over here. completely opposite end of the spectrum as far as their approaches to the game and postseason are concerned. If we see the Ryan Day
2019, 2020.
And I was even going to say yes. Excuse me. Even more so 2022 that came out against Georgia and was looking lights out. And then, Marvin Harrison gets hurt at the end of the third quarter. The defense then lapses. I mean, it's a 4-quarter game. They look great through 3 quarters. That last and final quarter, they completely went down the tubes. But if they can at least get an Ohio State coached team by Ryan Day that looked like that team that started out against Georgia, this is going to be a hell of a football game against Tennessee. It really is. But to your point, Ryan Day has got to take a step back and look at what are Tennessee's strengths, what are our strengths. And much like Michigan, Tennessee has a hell of a defensive line. Yeah. And if you're going to sit here and try and run Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson up the middle against an offensive line that has been patchworked since the Oregon game when Josh Simmons got hurt, you're probably going to get into trouble again, and you cannot do that. And the one thing, though, and I'm surprised you hadn't brought it up yet, was the fact that Ryan Day talked about the offensive line, and go ahead and tell them what he said.
He said they might shuffle it. They're going to work in 2 other guys, and I think that
Luke Montgomery and Josh Padilla are 2 names specifically. Well, and George Fitzpatrick, he said that Donovan Jackson more than likely is staying at tackle, but they could work on some things, and depending on how practices go, George Fitzpatrick could potentially see himself sliding out to left tackle, and Donovan Jackson slides back inside. But Josh Padilla, the backup center, and Luke Montgomery, one of the backup guards, could see their way into some playing time.
Yeah, that's interesting too, and we'll probably know more next week. I'm not sure when the next presser is going to be.
Let's put it this way: less than 2 weeks, folks.
Less than 2 weeks, yeah. So this week, Ryan Day said they're not going to be doing like really heavy practicing. It's finals week. It's the one that was the other thing he said that was a big takeaway was they're not prepping for a bowl game. They're prepping for a playoff game.
Yeah,
it's completely
totally different.
It's 2 weeks prep, and I like that. It's just basically you're having a bye week. He said finals are this week, so it's going to be lighter this week. I think it's going to be more heavy with coaches, and then probably like meetings, team meetings or position meetings. And then next week is when the practices. They're still going to be practicing outdoors in case it is cold to take advantage of cold weather, but it's 50 degrees. It's actually 60 degrees right now.
It's nice today.
It's Ohio. So we have no idea how the weather's going to be in 2 weeks. It could be 60, it could be 21. So home field advantage is mainly going to be Buckeye Nation coming out, buying all the tickets, buying as many Tennessee tickets that they can, and just taking the game over. And that was something Ryan Day was looking forward to. That's something all the seniors are looking forward to. The Jack Sawyers who really put it all out to beat Michigan and deserves a national championship.
This is going to be obviously the last home game of the season. All right. There is one more shot, Buckeye Nation.
Shot at redemption.
One more shot at a home game and getting off of your ass and getting so friggin' riled up that Tennessee, it makes it impossible for them to come in here and walk away with a win, okay?
Yeah.
Because against Michigan, the crowd was hyped at first, but obviously the way the team was playing, and I get it, the crowd is going to feed off of the energy of how the team is performing.
Yeah.
But there were times where I felt that Ohio State crowd could have gotten a lot louder. And this is it, folks. I mean, if we want to see Ohio State really make a serious push to the national championship, it starts at home against Tennessee, last home game of the season. So if you're going to be there, bring. Did they sell Red Bull in the stadium? I should probably know that. But drink your pop, drink your coffee, buy your Red Bull, whatever the case is.
Sure, that's what they're going to be drinking before the game.
Well, maybe enjoy another beverage or two of your choice, whatever the case is that gets you hyped up. But come into this game reared and ready to go, because that is something that Ryan Day said he is expecting the team to feed off of the fans, but he did say the fans also to feed off of the team. So it is a give and take. And that was something that Kirk Herbstreit said today, that Ohio State probably should have had an away game because, God forbid, what happens the first time after their first 3 and out of the game, that the team gets booed
The
for going 3 and
Buckeye
out.
fans already boo for that, and that's what Ryan Day said. He said, "Doesn't matter. Our team's ready to play."
Yeah.
And I think
Are you buying it?
I'm buying it.
Are
yeah,
you buying it?
I'm buying it.
Okay.
I think it didn't seem like the normal Wednesday fluff. It seemed like I mean, I'm just remembering the stare off into space when the brawl's breaking out in the field,
And
he's
he's
just
kinda
in
chilling.
disbelief. I don't think
Yeah.
he was chilling. I think he was like, "Is my family gonna be safe tonight? I just lost to Michigan.
Well, maybe that
four,
was, yeah.
4 games in a row, and this is the game where it was like the highest spread ever against Michigan too. From my
I don't know about
understanding.
the highest spread ever, but I mean, 20 points. Yeah.
21, 3 touchdowns,
yeah.
and so I think I mean, I'm buying it, and if they lose, I mean, it's gonna be a bad day for. It's gonna be a bad day.
It's just gonna be a bad.
It's gonna be a
bad day for Ryan Day, for
the Buckeyes.
yeah, the whole nine.
For everything.
I'm a wait and see. I'm sorry, but right now my personal feelings are that with Ryan Day, after what I just witnessed firsthand against a Michigan team that he had absolutely zero business losing against.
Some childhood trauma got triggered.
I'm telling you what, man, the John Cooper days, they got triggered, man. The PTSD from the John Cooper era got triggered, just the whole nine. But honestly, it does take me back to the John Cooper type of situation where he had issues, obviously, beating Michigan
and performing in the bowl
and
games.
performing in the postseason. And so far, Ryan Day, he's 1-4 against Michigan, and he's 2-4 in the postseason. Okay. So,
yeah.
We'll wait and see. And if we witness an Ohio State team that comes out and hits Tennessee in the mouth and keeps on them the whole game,
then they get redemption against Oregon.
Then they're going to face Oregon in the second
that I really
round.
liked
But
was,
if they can do that, then it's going to reinvigorate my belief that, okay, maybe I'm a little wrong about Ryan Day, but then, of course, let's see what happens after Oregon. But they got to get past Tennessee first.
Yeah, I think the thing that sold me most in the presser was somebody had asked, like, what do you think? And they were talking about, and he's like, we got Tennessee. That's all I'm thinking about is Tennessee. Like, and he wasn't like talking about this and that. And then people were like,
well, and he says, but that's the normal coach speak that we hear every week. We're concerned about Purdue. We're concerned about Indiana. But we're not looking forward.
It was more of like a butthole clenching, like, whoa. And they were like,
so it was the way he said it.
Yeah, it was like, what do you think about how teams get in? He's like, I don't think I'm really in a position to discuss that. Like, I'm happy we're here. We got lucky to get this home game. Because, like, he knew he left it in the hands of the committee. Like, last night, you knew my picks. I was like, oh, I want to see Georgia. I got Arizona State, I got Penn State, and I got Clemson. And I was 3 for 4, right? But I was in my group chat with the family, and they're like, we need this so we can get a better seed. I'm like, we're not getting any better seed. Like, unless Penn State got blown out, unless Texas got blown out, or unless Georgia got blown out. I mean, the only team that got blown out was Iowa State. So, and it was kind of like, we're not going to get a better seed. They're done punishing teams for getting to a conference championship and losing.
As you saw with SMU getting in over Alabama,
which SMU should have,
and they should have. Although if you hear Nick Saban, former Alabama head coach, say it, he really felt he was homering Alabama, and I guess rightfully so.
Yeah, he still works there.
What do you mean he still works there?
He's got an office there still.
He does?
Yeah.
Doing what?
I don't know.
Well, just because you have an office there, does that mean that you still technically work there?
Why would you give somebody an office?
John Cooper still got a seat in the press box, but that doesn't mean he's working for the university.
He doesn't have an office in the building.
He might. Do you know?
Oh, that's true. He might.
I don't know. But at any rate,
I think he always kind of homers, but he also said they should have beat teams they had no business losing to.
Who, Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You lost by 3 touchdowns to a 5-5 Oklahoma team, and you lost to, I don't know what Vanderbilt went, 7-5?
They lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to Oklahoma. They lost to 2 teams. One team has a losing record, I'm pretty sure. Does Vanderbilt have a winning record?
I'm not sure what Oklahoma ended up finishing up with, but I know when they lost, Oklahoma was like 5-5. When they lost to Oklahoma by 3 touchdowns at Oklahoma, Oklahoma was 5-5. Nonetheless, yes. Did Alabama have
We lost
a
by
win over Georgia?
Ohio State, but lost by a total of
4 points. I know. 4 points to the number 1 team in the nation in their house.
1
and
point.
to the arch rival.
Yeah,
by
1
1 point,
yeah.
and then
At home
a
to the
field
arch
goal
rival
to your
hurts.
arch rival. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to this game, but I'm holding back truly my excitement about being able to lay the hammer down on Tennessee. I would
No.
hope that nobody out there truly feels that Ohio State is going to lay the hammer down
I
on
want to see him
Tennessee.
do it, but I mean,
everybody wants to see them do it, but
yeah.
are we confident that they can do it? That's the big question. I'm just not
right
confident
now,
at all.
I see it more like a win against Penn State than a win against Indiana. Like if we win, it's going to be like a tight game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. But see, that's just the thing. I mean, you never know.
But
right?
Ryan Day said we got to score points. He said we have got to score points.
Yeah.
Which I've
usually
heard him
the
say.
team that scores the more points wins the game.
But I think what he's talking about is, to me, I heard like old school, like OSU used to score a lot of points up until last year. Like they were scoring a ton of points every game, and like.
Well, yeah, because they had a prolific offense with an NFL quarterback who had, for 2 years, was working with NFL wide receivers.
But now we have NFL wide receivers and maybe an NFL quarterback. We'll see.
Stretching it, but
ultimately, if he makes a good run, I mean, it's like Will Howard's playing for his future career right now because that Michigan game was not.
No, it was the worst game of the season for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no.
So I think it's kind of, and honestly, I mean, going into the playoff for C.J. Stroud, it was.
Well, CJ was an NFL guy.
Yeah, but they were still down talks about him because he wasn't running enough. He wasn't going for first downs when he could have against Michigan. There was a lot. I said a lot of these things, so that's why I know. And then it was like, thankfully, Cameron Rising saved the Buckeyes to get him in that game. And then C.J. Stroud played completely different against Georgia.
Wait, you just mixed. You went from.
What did I
think
say?
You went
Cameron
from Georgia.
Rising, Cameron Rising beating USC or every beat. Like Cameron Rising had this great game to upset the Pac-12 team to send the Buckeyes. Sorry, people can't read my mind.
No, yeah. Well,
because you're thinking the Utah game.
I was like, Utah Rose Bowl. Okay, no.
So,
yes.
So, and I remember thinking like, man, that Cameron Rising kid's gonna have a great NFL career.
Right, and
that was wrong. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but. Yeah. But the bottom line is what I'm saying is like, as the Buckeye Nation, it's like, as soon as we lose to Michigan, all the fans are ready to burn everything on the fucking ground. And it's
and rightfully so to a certain degree because you're talking about your arch rival.
I get it.
Especially in an instance like that where you had no business losing.
But I get it. But now there's a 12-game playoff, and now there's like.
No, and that's kind of what makes me sad about now college football going to a 12-game playoff is it's detracting from stuff like that.
But it's not though because we barely made it in.
You just said it's no big deal if you lost to Michigan.
But I didn't say
because you're in the playoff.
I didn't say that. I just said we can't pout about it the way we are.
No, you did. Did he just say you can't pout about it?
That's what I was saying.
Never.
I said don't burn everything down. That's the same thing.
No, burning and pouting are two different things.
That's true. But we can't pout about it. It's like it sucks. But guess what? We're in the playoff and they're not.
There, you can take solace in that.
And then, great, they can say, if we win it all, we still beat the Buckeyes. Okay, cool. And you just spent $10 million on a quarterback to maybe win. It wasn't even interested in your team until you threw money at him.
Yeah, that's.
And so far, buying a whole bunch of mercenaries isn't necessarily better than being a team.
Well, and people are saying that about Ohio State and their $20 million roster.
We'll see what happens. But we had a whole bunch of receivers that came back. We had a whole bunch of seniors. That came back.
Yeah.
So I think OSU's the mix. You have to have the mix.
And this is it, though, right now, right?
This
is it. Okay.
That's what we're going to see.
You got to the playoff. You did not accomplish 2 of your 3 goals, which is beating the team
Michigan,
up north.
Go undefeated.
And, winning the Big Ten title. Beating Michigan,
yeah.
winning the Big Ten title, and winning a national championship. 2 of the 3 are obviously gone again. But, yes, there is still that opportunity to win it all. We shall see.
Hey, this is our Sunday podcast. This is a
I know.
overreaction Sunday at the Woody.
I would say that, yeah, this was definitely an overreaction, especially for me. I'm
Needs to happen.
overreacting. You're trying to keep it level-headed and calm. You're trying to talk sense into
trying.
me and keep all of you other Buckeye fans out there that might be thinking the same way I am. You're trying to talk some sense.
I'm telling you.
I'm just on now.
Up until the bracket was released, though, and that was something else Ryan Day talked about multiple times because people kept asking him the same question: is now we have a target, we have something to prep for, we have something to work for. We thought that target was Nebraska with Oregon. It was a huge letdown.
Yeah.
So that was your concern last week, but this is the playoff. This isn't Nebraska at home, who just got mollywopped by Indiana, so we should have this in the bag. Matt Rule thinking this is my Super Bowl. If I can't compete with OSU, I have no business having a job in Nebraska. Who finished 6-6?
Yeah. Well, but there you go. Sometimes you just go up against a team that just has.
They're ready to play. They're ready to play.
They got fight.
And I think that
Ohio State almost lost too.
They did.
Yeah.
And I think though that we're going to see what happens. I'm looking for this playoff. It'd be great to come in and beat an SEC team too, right off the bat. Shut up the fans that are like, yeah, but traditionally SEC the last 20 years, blah, blah. But it's like, hey, we're talking about right now. I get it.
1-13 against the SEC in postseason. 1-13 Ohio State is.
We beat
Actually,
Alabama.
technically 2-13 because they beat Texas A&M in the Sugar Bowl in 1999.
But they were Big 12 at the time.
They were Big 12, but they're grandfathering in those
But
records.
we beat, OSU,
traditional
the best,
SEC teams.
the best
one
team,
win, Alabama.
one of the traditionally best teams in the Big Ten. Ohio State has one of the worst records against the SEC.
it's atrocious.
It's bad. So it's a big win. So if Ryan Day gets a nice win, statement win against an SEC team, top SEC team.
And that's another thing, too, to kind of kill this postseason narrative. And Ryan Day's butt cheeks clenching, like, oh, my God, we're in the postseason against an SEC team, is to go out there and just say, hey, screw you, screw them, screw everybody. Let's go and win this game for us, and let's do what we know we do best and what is the best approach to win this game. If Ryan Day does that, then I'm going to be like, okay, all right, I'm going to step back a little bit from the ledge, But if we see Ohio State go out there and play tight and, if they barely win the game, all right, a win is a win, right? That I would have been happy with that against Michigan. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, they won 16-13 because Jaden Fielding didn't miss 2 field goals. Awesome, I will take the win.
Yeah.
However, we see Tennessee come into the horseshoe and either win and blow their frickin' doors off. But 37 million reasons for Ohio State not to fire Ryan Day, folks. Just remember that. So even if it does happen, probably not going to see it.
And Tennessee only has 3,500 tickets. They should be so loud. Tennessee should not even know what hit them.
Like we were just saying earlier.
So we'll see. I think I'm not ready to do any score prediction yet.
Oh no, we're gonna do another kind of pregame preview for sure.
We're not sure the next time we'll be at the Woody. We're still waiting to actually get credentialed. We're gonna be applying for credentials.
We will be, for sure.
And then hopefully we'll be back here at the Woody. I'm sure we'll have some kind of
probably some interview sessions leading up to the game for sure.
But otherwise, we'll see you guys next week on Sunday. Follow us at Columbus_Wired on X. You can slash us. I was actually running the account today during the presser.
He was. He's doing pretty good.
Or you can follow me. I'm at True slash me. I'm at True Sample. This is Andy's Wired.
He's not wrong, folks. There you go.
And if you want to, poke the bear, just go on there, talk some crap to him.
Mm-hmm. Bring it on, folks. I'm always ready for a good convo. There it is for Drew Sample, Andy Evans, Columbus Wired. Everybody take care until the next time.